How do you do? What could be said of what's happening now? Is it a half-hour dose of truth, justice, and the American way? Does it conjure images of a carefree family blithely frolicking in the warm light of the sun? The answer to all four of those questions is a resounding yes. Tonight, this most illuminating show will discuss revolutions both American and industrial, find out exactly who those sneaky nations are hiding all their wealth, and shoo away the dark clouds surrounding the clandestine Illuminati organization. We'll also dare to ask the most provocative question on the minds of every patriotic American from sea to shining sea. Which is the best color? Red, orange, green, purple, blue, or yellow? You'll get the answer you need tonight on What's Happening Now. Before we begin our moment of clarity, in the wise words of the great Hansen, you have so many relationships in this life, but only one or two that will last. You go through all the pain and strife, you turn your back, and it's gone so fast. Oh yeah, it's gone so fast, so hold on to the ones that really care. In the end, they'll be the only ones there. When you get old and start losing your hair, can you tell me who will still care? Can you tell me who will still care? Oh? Yeah. Bop, ba, doobie, dop, bop, doo-wop, doobie, ooby, dop, wop. This has been your moment of clarity. All right, guys. We've got a great show for you tonight. I'm joined as usual by my exciting 100 words a second co-host, Dr. Josh. Josh, thanks for being here.
It's always a pleasure, Jacobian.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure when you get to commune with me.
Jack, you are the apple of my eye.
Please, don't say that. Okay, so our big topic tonight, it seems the American colonies have quite the axe to grind with the British. Our major leaders and representatives have all signed a document declaring their independence, though the name of the document kind of escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, I don't really know either, man.
It's no worries, I suppose. There have already been several major battles between the American and British forces fought on our soil, and every indication points to an all-out war with no end in sight.
These are scary times we're living in, Jack. In fact, I'd say we're definitely living in the end times, and God is soon to release his 21 judgments upon the earth that will ravage her land and people.
How benevolent of her.
Or him. So, what sparked this American Revolution, Jack?
Oh, a lot of things. Some people think it was the, debate between tea drinkers and coffee drinkers as to which is better in the morning. But at the risk of spreading disinformation, I think it's that the colonists have taken umbrage to the Crown's perpetual promises of a better infrastructure for internet without actually coming through on those promises.
So wait, you're telling me this is all about the internet?
Everything's always about the internet.
Well, do the colonists have any major concerns about, taxation without representation?
I mean, sure they do. I just don't think it's a major topic. I'm sure they don't like it, though.
Well, I'm sure our panelists will have an enlightened discussion on the issue. Let's move on. Jack, have you read the new book, The Wealth of Nations, by Scottish economist Adam Smith?
Of course I have. I prefer his writings a lot more, though. Or his wife's writings, I should say.
Who's his wife?
Eve Smith.
Eve Smith Mafia?
That's so terrible.
3-6 Mafia. You've heard of them?
No, it's just terrible, man.
Well, I know
that. But no, I don't know anything about that book, Josh.
Well, Jack, the book describes how exactly nations build their wealth and covers such topics as the division of labor, productivity, and the free market.
Did you just pull that off Wikipedia?
No, Jack, our internet in this country is too shitty for me to even get to that site.
Good point, man. Good point.
So, this book is going to go down as one of the most important works in economics. It's going to be on the same plane as Darwin's Origin of the Species and Newton's Principia in terms of its importance to the field.
Wow. So this is the book that has the invisible hand in it then, right?
I think you're thinking of the Addams Family TV show, Jack.
No, you're thinking of the character Thing from Addams Family, and he definitely wasn't an invisible hand. If anything, he was just the hand and the rest of him was invisible. That sounds pretty cool, and I really like that theory, but I think it just doesn't hold up if you really watch the show closely.
So literally the invisible hand concept is the exact opposite of Thing from Addams Family.
No, one is a concept, the other is a fictional character. And besides, that fictional character represents a physical manifestation of an idea. The invisible hand concept is completely intangible.
I know, Jack. It's just fun to mess with you.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Anyway, the invisible hand concept is the idea that people acting in their own self-interest have certain unintended benefits for society. For example, by doing everything in its power to slash costs to benefit its corporate interests, Walmart will, keep costs down for those goods for, persons who shop there.
Okay, I think I know where this is going. Adam Smith was clearly in favor of the free market and against the idea of government intervention, making him a libertarian.
Oh, I think that's a vast oversimplification.
Well, it's too much work to get into the details, man.
Well, I agree, Josh. Say, have you heard there's a different kind of revolution going on? One of a more industrial nature?
Wait a minute. You're not telling me that industrial music is about to undergo some huge changes, are you?
Yeah, developments from industrial light and magic, maybe. Mm-hmm. But also, Great Britain is seeing a major overhaul in their manufacturing processes for certain goods. The country is saying sayonara to traditional hand product methods in favor of using machines to produce goods like kimonos, thanks to the improved efficiency of water and steam power and the rise of the factory system. It won't be long before you have innovators bringing these advancements over to the States.
Well, I wonder how long till our jobs as podcast hosts become automated as well.
Well, we've been obsolete since before the first episode, so what does automation matter?
Well, I guess I figured as much. I mean, yes, our jokes are fresh, our invited guests are completely believable and entertaining, but this pseudo-political satire format usually falls on deaf ears, Jack.
Yeah, Josh, I think, people just aren't ready for our fire-starting ideals. We're simply just way too ahead of the curve here.
So we're not obsolete. We're actually forward-thinking.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right, Jack. So can I ask you a question? What do you think about secret societies?
Well, I've heard about groups of old men that congregate at Mackenzie Park and perform sex acts on each other. Does that count?
Sure, but I'm thinking... I'm thinking of something a little more dignified. Have you ever heard of the Illuminati?
Oh boy, here we go. Let me go get my tinfoil hat.
Well, specifically, I'm talking about the Bavarian Illuminati, founded by Adam Weishaupt, created to combat superstition and religious influence over public life in Bavaria.
You better wish up about what you're saying. You never know who could be listening in.
Well, as you've so illustriously exemplified, a lot of conspiracy theorists today believe that the Illuminati is now a secret society with tremendous influence in the world's power structure. They see this group as pulling the strings from behind the curtain. Any thoughts?
Look, Josh, even if there was such a group, which there totally isn't, by the way, I totally know that completely, I would fully support their actions as necessary for the preservation of order in a world gone mad. They have only the purest of intentions for humanity.
Right. At any rate, this society kind of gets lumped in with the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, and the New World Order.
What does wrestling have to do with this?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, Jack. Clearly, Hollywood Hulk Hogan's villainous days with the NWO serves as the modern inspiration for many of our anti-hero stories in Hollywood.
In other words, wrestling has nothing to do with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Josh, let me throw something out there for you and gauge your reaction. ELO?
Is that how you answer the phone?
By sheer coincidence, yes, it is. More importantly, ELO stands for Electric Light Orchestra. Brand new rock group that's hitting the scene. You probably cruised up and down Main Street listening to their swinging tune, Evil Woman.
Their music pleases me, Jack.
Let's keep our bedroom antics to ourselves here. This is a family-friendly show.
No, it's not. You just talked about a ring of old men that blow each other at Mackenzie Park like 2 minutes ago.
I alleged they blow each other. I didn't specify the sex act.
It was obvious.
All right, you're right. Anywho, I've been a big fan of ELO for years, Josh. I'm even the grand poobah of their fan group.
You lead up the Illuminati?
Yes, Josh, it's a time-honored role that allows me to serve the people of this world.
You're really making a difference out there, Jack.
Thanks, good buddy. Up next, Josh and I hide behind the ramparts and watch some shots fired. Gallantly streaming in the air. Don't go anywhere.
Raleigh, Carl Jr., American Patriot. Raleigh, Carl Jr., the voice of reason. Raleigh, Carl Jr., defender of free speech. Carrying the mantle of freedom the liberals drop when they quit promoting civil liberties for everyone.
Dad, I know we just overlooked flyover state lower middle class white folk, but I need quality time with you. I crave the edification and guidance of my conservative father figure.
Sorry, son. I work 18 hours a day and shell out $52,000 a month for medical insurance. But don't worry, one day my taxes will pay for you to dress like a girl, dye your hair bright green, and take gender studies classes at Communist Propaganda University.
Well, fucking shit dick biscuits. Sounds like we need to rekindle a glorious age of American conservatism.
Raleigh, Carl Jr. Never uses hyperbole. Raleigh, Carl Jr. Not available on any media outlets.
Do you work 10 hours at a socially responsible coffee house? Are you growing weary of posting important social justice memes on Tumblr, only to see your followers failing to engage on the important issues? What if I told you that there was a brand new app that could set you up with needy people that could benefit from your progressive worldviews? Introducing Live and Let Thrive, an app for Android and iOS that sets you up with people you can help, all in your local area. Live and Let Thrive uses cutting-edge racial topography technology, translating census data into an overlay for your Maps app. The darker the area on your map, the darker the skin color concentration of minorities in that area. Now you can journey into the heart of darkness and provide the nourishment of your compassion to the historically disadvantaged. Your social justice wisdom will shelter them from the harsh rains of Republican indifference and heal the wounds of long-suffering inequality. Download Live and Let Thrive today. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Enjoy that commercial? I'm sure you did. Well, we all have a lot of fun with commercials here on What's Happening Now. It's probably about time, though, that we got to some serious discussion. That's right. It's time for Shots Fired. We're joined in this bloodbath by our distinguished panel of guests, the first of which you know from such stage shows as Oh My God, She's Showing Her Ankle and Egads, A Blacksmith's Tale. It's none other than Thaddeus Chatterham IV. Pleasure to be here.
Also on our panel and ramrodding his musket as we speak, Mr. Stephen T. MacDonald.
That's right. Good to be here. Our third guest comes to us from good old Rhode Island. It's author extraordinaire Lady Emily Stokeworth.
Thank you for having me. Lastly, we have probably the biggest guest we've ever had. He's one of the most respected and wealthy men in the colonies. It's the Baron of Baltimore. Yahoo! Let's do this, good sirs!
We also have our favorite commenter joining us from the sound booth, Mr. Dan Goodman. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. We all love it when Dan's here. He really makes the show pop.
He really does. Okay, let's jump into this breach and get started. The big topic on everyone's mind is all this colonial talk about revolution and independence. What's going on with that, and what are your takes on it? Ladies first.
But of course it is only appropriate for me to speak before the men get into the difficult and important details of the conversation. I think it's a good thing that the colonials are talking of revolution.
Really? I thought you had a work saying differently. Yeah, little lady, I thought this was going to be a good old drubbing we would put on these jokers.
Well, quite right, Mr. MacDonald. We will get to that. You see, I think that the talk of revolution is great. We get to see who is loyal to the crown and who isn't. It will make it much easier for the king to send over his forces and cut their heads off for treason. I am looking forward to seeing Benjamin Franklin's fat fucking face impaled on a pike outside the gates of Philadelphia when I go there next spring.
Yeah, wait a minute. Look, I think this isn't really about...
Dan, Chatterham was making a point. Please don't interrupt.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, thank you. It's just that the colonials don't deserve to have their heads put on pikes. It's the king he's denying us representation and imposing tariffs, and cotton soldiers in our homes in violation of Acts of Parliament and the Magna Carta. Don't be absurd, you stupid fuck. I ought to pull out my pistol, the one that shoots, and blast you out of your chair, forgotten country. Take your best shot.
Make ready. Present. Fire.
I missed. Let me reload, okay? I'm kind of slow in my old years, so this will take a few minutes. Don't you fucking move.
As he does that, let me just say that it will be fabulous to have some loyalty returned to this country once the rebel faction has been smoked out and slaughtered. The men have been running around reading papers and books rather than getting to the important work of pacifying this barbaric land and stripping the riches from the earth. It's high time my servants got back to work in accordance with divine will.
Shit, I dropped the ball. Alright, let me find it again real quick.
Miss Stockwith, I find your opinion to be extremely offensive. I mean, you need to check your privilege. A woman like yourself from England has no idea what Welsh people like me have to deal with. You need to just shut your mouth and do some listening for a change.
Ooh-hoo! Now he told him. Oh, he sure did tell her that, that's for sure. We have got to have us a fight in this place here for your way of life. Woo-hoo! I'm gonna kill you too. Let me get my gun. Hold still. And a more series of non sequiturs. Woo-hoo!
Okay, now in goes the ball. Oh, this ramrod is tough to use. I love them. I should have got a new one, though. Oh, boy.
You see, Miss Stockwith, all your bluster and bravado has just caused problems. You're about to be shot by the barrel because you didn't check yourself and just listen.
Well, Mr. Chatterham, I think I have little to fear from this situation, as I am a lady of these parts.
Fire!
How dare you speak to me that way, sir? By the way, you missed Baron. Please just sit down. You're embarrassing yourself. Hot damn, so I did. Well, it was just a tactic. Let me go fetch my musket. My servant boy has it over there.
Boy, having on PC, the proper word for them is pre-adolescent personal pieces of property. Of colour.
Good show, MacDonald. I'll keep him distracted for you. You see, Mr. Chatterham, we have everything under control here. There's simply no reason why the colonies can't use the systems already in place and plead their case before Parliament and the King. The fact is, these colonials pay far less taxes than people living in Britain do, and have access to far more land than people back home do. You're making a mountain out of a molehill.
This is about freedom of people being able to control their own destinies, you fucking bitch. Haven't you read John Locke?
The show Lost has not come out yet, so I have no idea how I could have read about that character.
Not the character, the philosopher. He talks in his book about how man has inalienable rights set out by the Creator. Are you prepared to sit here and say that the king, a secular authority, and merely a man is a greater authority than the Almighty?
Oh, that Locke is just a load of garbage. Look, none of that stuff makes any sense. If Locke were right, then it would be obvious his thoughts extend to all persons, including persons of color, and that simply can't be true.
No, I mean, obviously they aren't equal to us. That would be stupid. When God and Locke say people, they mean real persons, not 3/5 of a person.
There. Got it loaded again. Okay, now don't move, you damn rebel.
Make ready. Present. Fire!
Oh, damn, the thing misfired. The barrel's ruined now. It'll take me 15 or 20 minutes to unfoul it. You just sit right there, mister, and I'll get to you.
Look, we want freedom here, but you can't just let people who can't take care of themselves run around in the world. They might fall into a well or something like that, like that little baby Jessica girl. So yeah, obviously we don't mean freedom for blacks, but yeah, down, with the king. No taxation without representation.
Oh, now who is being childish? If this Locke were right and God deemed all men equal, then why would there be a king in the first place?
Look, the king is just a guy, and it's wrong to deny people their rights that God gave them. It's immoral. Except with, African Americans. I mean, they ain't people, though. Probably Jews are barely people, too. Also, Native Americans don't count, pretty obviously. I think maybe Asian Americans, that counts like 9/5, a good breeding generation or two from being real people. And, Arabic people don't really count either. So, aside from all those groups, though, and obviously some Spaniards, you've got to throw in some of them. God gave all the people the same rights, and it's against his nature ordering, to use force to take those rights from them.
All right, woohoo! Let's do this.
Make ready. Present. Fire!
Oh, damn, I missed. Hit that bucket in that corner, though.
That was my favorite bucket. Ugh. Okay, great discussion, guys. Let's move on to the next big topic. Industrial Revolution. Baron Baltimore, take aim.
Nice to meet you, Josh, too. Look, anything with revolution in the name I'm on board with. So sign me up. Time to turn over this apple cart and start our own new country.
Well, I think that both revolutions will have profound effects on the globe and help us usher in a great age. Dan, that was just pathetic. You don't need a pander. I'm starting to regret having you on the show today. Okay, Miss Stokeworth, what's your take on the Industrial Revolution?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm forced to agree with Baltimore to a certain extent. You see, this industrial revolution business has been wonderful for Britain. We have factories weaving wool as we speak, making Britain the greatest country in the world. Through the strength of our factories and our ships, we will make the whole world England.
But the factories are upsetting Mother Earth. Look at all the fossil fuels we're consuming. There are miners all over the place sticking up coal and lumber as tearing down whole forests just to keep those factories running.
Those factories and the lumber heat people's homes too, sonny boy. Do you think we could survive these harsh winters without wood for our stoves and quality clothes on our back? Not to mention the developments of agriculture. My grandpappy would have been through the roof to get yields on acreage like we get today.
I'm just saying this is all hurting the environment. We need to find a way to harvest other forms of energy and reduce our consumption of materialist goods.
Now, hold on. I don't know about all that, but this is the 15th different southern accent I've tried. But what I do know is that I can import goods made cheaply overseas and reduce costs so that everyone over here can get quality and affordable goods. That's improving all our lives, even if the damn king would just quit subsidizing his favorite tea and sugar companies and try to micromanage the economy.
Yeah, I mean, the king really should stay out of economic affairs. Didn't he read The Wealth of Nations?
Oh, what prattling idiocy. It's clear that the king knows best what to do. If he reads this little pamphlet this Smith fellow wrote, then bully for him. If not, then that's his majesty's prerogative.
Hey guys, transitions are our job. Look, I love the king, but there are facts about the world he can't ignore.
Oh, such blithering nonsense. You think that this one man knows more than the king, parliament, and the privy council combined? Please.
Look, this economic jam is an excuse for us to drive up profits. I mean, have you ever looked at who funds Smith's research?
The king?
The Coates brothers, duh.
Not this again.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Let's shoot them dead. I'm ready for a revolution. Industrial, economic, American. Let's usher in a new age.
Look, I'm saying is that this guy's book encourages people to just buy goods and treats humans as if they were just purchasing machines. I mean, come on. You ever heard of anything as unscientific as an invisible hand? How can a hand be invisible? It's fucking nonsense.
Fantastic stuff, guys, but we're starting to run out of time here, so let's move on. Now, you all, I am sure, are big fans of music, so have you heard about ELO?
Is that how you answer the phone? Don't you mean the PLO in America 200 years too early? Fatty, get your gun.
I don't have a gun, man. I'm a liberal.
Well, damn.
I've listened to some of their best songs, Mr. Blue Sky, Sweet Talking Woman, Do Ya, and of course, Evil Woman. Instant classics, if you ask me.
Yeah, but why do you have to pick a name that makes me think of the PLO?
I think you're just a warmonger, Baltimore. You're always looking for a fight in any facile excuse to draw your gun.
You trying to start a fight with me, Chatterham?
Yeah, never mind.
I'd like to add my own 77 cents to the discussion.
Don't you mean 2 cents?
No, women are only paid 77 cents for every dollar a man is paid, so I like to shove that number down men's throats.
See, I've seen that number go all over the place. 77 cents, 80 cents, 72 cents. You get your facts straight, little missy.
Anyways, I think ELO appropriates too many other cultures. It's sickening.
How do they appropriate other cultures?
By making music in the first place. Music is the sole property of all other cultures except mainstream Western culture. Lady, that's probably the dumbest thing I've heard all day. I've got my gun sights set on you. Okay, time for one final topic. Now, according to some sources, there has been the rise of a mystery group known as the Bavarian Illuminati. Do you guys think this is fact or fiction? Good or evil? Thaddeus Chatterham IV, I'll give you the first shot.
I don't think they exist at all. That sounds completely made up and like a conspiracy theory nonsense.
Well, yeah, you see, I like to...
Well, I don't know. I might have not be all that bad.
Oh, Dan, I told you about interrupting the other guests, goddammit. Barry Baltimore was speaking. What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
You know what? Dan, please get out of here. You're fired. I don't want to see you in this building again.
All right, I'm going. Sheesh. Mark my words. The American Revolution will be a big success, and combined with the advanced resource production capabilities of the Industrial Revolution, the economic understanding of the wealth of nations, and the band ELO, America will take the lead in the world stage as a force for freedom and good for all mankind, even if it makes a few missteps along the way. Get out of here with your preachy crap, Dan. I'm so sorry about that, everybody. We shouldn't have brought him on. The producer said so. He's gone now, though, okay? I apologize. All right, so Baron Baltimore, what were you saying?
Oh, I didn't say anything about the obviously non-existent Illuminati. People who believe in the Illuminati might as well believe in ghosts.
Or equal rights for women and African Americans. Well, wait, I mean, they're a non-existent group. We know that, they're currently operating right now after having been founded by Adam Weishaupt here in 1776.
And that's nonsense. It's just a tennis club.
It's not a tennis club.
Yeah, guys. They're an organization devoted to blotting out superstition and religious influence on public life.
Don't forget abuses by the state.
Yeah, fuck you too. Look, I see no evidence that there is such a thing as a large organization devoted to controlling the governments of the world in league with the gnomes of Zurich. They didn't say any of that, Baltimore. Oh, well, right. There's no organization secretly controlling the world's financial markets or any bullshit like that.
But what about all the meetings these people are doing?
World Economic Forum? Complete rubbish. That's just a group of regular people playing cribbage.
Cribbage? That makes no sense. I mean, the World Economic Forum doesn't even exist yet.
It's just an invention by that paranoid Dan Goodman fella. Fuck him.
I second the notion that the Illuminati is a complete and total fabrication of a desperate, paranoid man named Dan.
Oh, they exist. Yeah, it's a health club in New York, a place where a real good guy can go for a game of golf. Or a handy J.
Oh, right. I remember reading about that rubbish.
Yeah, me too. Quite right.
All right, well, that's all the time we have.
I would like to thank our panel of experts and once again apologize for Dan. Look, folks, I am so sorry that we brought him on today. It wasn't my idea. He kind of was pushed in at the last second, and nobody likes him anyways. Up next, I sit down with the man of the hour, King George III, and have a good chat. Don't go away. There's more coming up after the break. From sea to shining sea, the Rooney Museum Foundation presents Voices in American History. December 15th, 1780, the brave Army of the Revolution, led by General George Washington, wins a decisive battle over the Redcoats in the town of New Suffolk. Troop morale is at an all-time high, as New Suffolk features 15 times more brothels per square foot than the next leading town in the colonies. Staff Sergeant Benjamin Henry Jefferson, among the victorious American heroes, shares his story with us now.
New Suffolk stands as a great symbol for what we troops are fighting for. No longer can the king impose his thinly veiled theocracy on us Americans. If I want twins, triplets, quadruplets, orgies featuring animal masks and antlers, Cleveland steamers, Boston cream pies, crazy aerial acrobatics, engines, outguns, lots of bubbles, whole barrels of warm pudding poured onto my nether regions, opiates, Andyates, Barneyates, Aunt B8s, the cast of Charles in Charge, the cask of Amontillado, Gooberates, Gomerates, Tie Lady Boys, or any combination of those in my bed tonight, it's no one's business but my own.
From amber waves of grain to purple mountain majesties, the Rooney Museum found...
Hold on, I've got some more. Lizards, locusts, water that turns red. Hell, how about all 10 plagues of Egypt? Caramel-flavored lube, Dr. Dre, the ladies from those synchronized swimming movies, salt and pepper. Might as well throw in TLC at that point, those perfect 1972 Miami Dolphins, Tommy and the Shondells, Rue McClanahan, Casey... Kate Upton, Molly Cavalli, Alexis Texas, Alicia Vikander, circa 1960s, Dolly Parton, Brooke Shields, Tyra Banks, Princess Diana, you know when she was alive, and Cara Delevingne. There.
Thanks for returning, folks. Our guest this week enters the studio hot, sweaty, and covered in mud, having spent the entire last week at his home in the sticky swamps of Louisiana. Please welcome the third British monarch of the House of Hanover, King George III.
Ooh.
The good King George boy sleep from a long week in Cajun country, but it's all good in faith, my smooth-skinned brother friend. The crawdads will sing new tunes on our tongues tonight.
Well, I sure do love it when our guests alliterate.
Brother friend, soften your crew insults against the Cajun King. I've been reading since you were nothing more than a jumbo shroom tucked away in your mother's tummy tub.
Alliterate, not illiterate.
Then I would say you should enunciate better, boyo.
My mistake, your liege. So, I brought you on the show today to discuss the revolution taking place in the colonies. As King of England, what are your feelings about the war?
Ooh, how those roguish scallywaggers have set fire to my once tender heart. Gree on every silver-toothed son of Cain that draws my righteous ire.
I see. So, the revolution has caused you a lot of stress. I guess that makes sense. How do you plan to deal with the colonists? Will you grant them the freedom they desire?
My fat summer eye. The good Cajun King frames these revolters the same way he crosses a gator skulking about his steamy swamp in need of a good wrestling takedown and a hard smack across the lips.
So you'll continue your military engagements in the colonies in order to regain control.
That I do. These goodless, winter-loving jackals will choke on their greedy schemes. They have a war with their God-fearing Cajun King. I say, laissez-les bon temps rouler. Let's let good times roll.
Have you had a chance to read the Declaration of Independence? What did you think of some of the ideals written therein?
A farcical piece of toilet tissue, not a good shit mold. The colonies would besmirch their only sovereign lord with scrawled parchment. I'll see them drown in the waters of the Everglades.
I can tell you're very passionate, your grace.
Oh, indeed I am, sir. I'm a man full of the conviction of a devout preacher. Ooh, my sweetest love of all is to hear the sound of a bugle. The bugle of the British colonial army crushing them Yankees in Boston and Philly.
So, if you reject the idea of the Declaration of Independence, how exactly do you justify yourself against it? As a king, you wield a tremendous amount of power, but based on what seems to be a pretty flimsy argument of divine right. The arguments in the Declaration of Independence seem to have broad appeal to people and are something one can latch their intellect onto. How do you counter that?
Oh, my man, Joe. I sure do love a good wrestling of the minds. I think I need to defend my position as if I were some mud-dwelling inbred frog catcher. No, sir, I'm a good Cajun King, and I have teams of people out there taking about while I rule.
So you have like a PR team going over the finer details?
By the just of God in heaven, you act like you ain't never read no Thomas Hobbes. Why, it's like all you yokels over there just come in out of the crispy crisp sun and sat down to drink the muddy water from the bayou.
So you're relying on arguments from Thomas Hobbes for your position?
Well, shit, of course I am. Don't make no damn sense to think that man won't harm man. You need a royal state to set things straight. And every damn state there has to have but one goody man making decisions, and in our case, it's the most humble Cajun King himself, myself.
Okay, I see what you're saying. One man on top, the sovereign. Okay, I got it. It's good to be the king, huh?
Oh, my lord, you have no idea. Better than a bona fide bucket of Popeye's finest and the ingenues you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I bet. Sounds like you put a lot of work into ruling and don't take the job lightly at all. What a bang-up job you're doing, too.
1,000 blessings on your sweet soul, brother.
Okay, so, following your train of thought, it's wrong to rebel against the king via the Hobbesian reasoning. But given that Hobbes was against rebellion and was in agreement with hereditary rule, is it really appropriate for you and the House of Hanover to have ascended to rule, given that there was much closer blood relatives to Queen Anne when she died?
Man, who care about that? That's just a bunch of nonsense from dim yesteryears. You're on come and goes that happened a century past, like chatting on the weather from last year as if it'll whisper just how many hoppity frogs you're going to catch next year. I'm the good king now, so I decree Hobbes to be important.
But mostly and only because you say he is, according to Hobbes' own work, right?
Duh.
Well, King, while I've got you, let me ask you the most important question on all our minds.
Mm-hmm.
What are your predictions for the 2017 season for the Saints?
8-8 at best I see. Our defense is a jambalaya of uncoordinated efforts flung around the field in chaos. Sean Payton may have brought us a taste of the sweet goal, but it's time to clean Maison and go our separate ways. He's done the Lord's work, now he must step aside.
Thank you for being with us, Your Highness. Don't go away, folks. Our final thoughts will make you just a little bit wiser.
Looking for a new house but too shy to ask your realtor the real questions on your mind? Worry no more. Introducing the Safe Neighborhood app from Duke Realty, the most trusted realty firm below the Mason-Dixon line. The Safe Neighborhood app uses cutting-edge racial topography technology, translating census data into an overlay for your Maps app. The darker they are on your map, the darker the skin color and concentration of minorities in that area. Now you have the power to protect your children and journey away from the heart of darkness. Download the Safe Neighborhood app today.
Welcome back to the show, everyone, and now it's time for our final thoughts. The world is a strange and exciting place at times, and it's easy to get caught up in the fast-paced trends of the day. One has to think carefully about what's going on around them and try to slow things down so that they don't do things they would later regret. Slowly plodding through life can have its advantages, but you must stick through the beacon of hope that is progress and make sure that you're keeping pace with good fortune. If we find ourselves wrapped up in affairs, we might miss out on the good things that are happening to us and not be able to see the forest for the trees. Even if it means lagging behind the times with technological advances, or even political and economic change, simply put, moving too fast and too slow can lead you to miss out on things like ELO. Either way you slice it, the ghost is in the pudding, and we have to work towards keeping an objective and careful, but not passive, eye towards what's happening with the big picture.
Well said, Josh. Well said.
Thanks, man. Fuck you. That was a great show, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that one turned out really well. I really enjoyed the group discussion. It was very funny. I thought they were really civil about it, too.
Yeah, I mean, if you think Civil War is civil.
Too true.
All right, folks, that's it from all of us at What's Happening Now. Have a good night and a good rest of your week.